Welcome back to the podcast, everyone. I am Will. I'm joined by my co-host over here on the other side of Franklin, the Grease. Say hello, Grease.
What's up, guys? We're live tonight for the first time, I don't know, in a long time.
It's been a minute, as they say in the popular parlance.
Who's the popular parlance?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Please tell me what a parlance
It's the
is.
words they like to say.
Okay. Going around in circles already on the show
man.
today.
Yeah,
That's
Grease always gets, man, I mean, I get sickness in my house, but I feel like when you get sickness in your house, it is like the second coming over there, man. It is just weeping and gnashing of teeth.
Dude, it's been pretty rough, man.
It is aggressive.
One kid Saturday night, one kid Sunday night into Sunday. It's been a mess, but I did apply my chapstick so that I could kiss my mic and it not get upset with me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Some dry lips going on.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, saliva sometimes when you lick your lips, they end up just getting more chapped.
Yeah.
Which I think the first thing I'm going to ask God when I get into heaven.
You don't understand the science behind it.
The chapstick locks in the moisture.
Yeah. You're just putting water on it, and then when like wind blows or something, it, almost like sweat, how it dries out your skin if it's as the wind goes over and it cools it.
Well, what if you suck on your lips?
It dries out your lips more.
What if you suck on your lips for an extended period of time and let that moisture seep in? It still doesn't work. You get a rash. You get a daggum rash, Will.
You're giving yourself a hickey on your lips if you do it that way. But you do you, bud. And tell me how it turns out.
You know, there's not another sign of greasiness than just walking down the sidewalk and just with this huge bruise hickey.
You're just a giant swollen lip. It's like, did you get a bad filler job? Because that also could be something that you had done.
But look, I don't dip, y'all. I don't just telling everybody as you pass them just because they see your bruised ass lips. You're just like, I don't dip, y'all. Just letting you know. If I do, it's Zens.
You are a filthy, gross person. All right, man.
Well, you should see my food videos. I posted one in Discord, by the way, Will.
Yeah, we're going to get to that. But before we get to any of that, this is something that's kind of been on my heart, and I know it's been on your heart as well. Our friend Tiny Irwin, who is the new proprietor of Southern Whiskey Society, and you can see posts about this if you go to the Facebook page of Southern Whiskey Society. But his son, who is 11 years old, they found out had a tumor last week and had to do quick surgery, and it does look miraculously that the doctors were able to get all of that, but I know he's got a long road ahead in recovery. So if you'd keep Tiny on your mind and in your prayers, and his whole family and Henry, I know they'd appreciate it. We'd appreciate it as well. But
and shout out to Henry, buddy. You're brave.
Yeah, for sure.
You're inspiring, and we love you, buddy.
Yeah, and like I said, there's a CareNet page as well. You can read about the whole story if you're interested and want to know more, so you can know how to be praying for them or to care for them in any way. But just wanted to get that out there that, Tiny has quickly become a good friend. And so it was heavy last week as we were hearing the updates, and fortunately there is, as of right now, the best outcome out of that could have happened, but they still have a lot of questions and a lot of recovery. But I wanted to get that out there before we move on to more shenanigans. Are you drinking anything, Grease?
Yeah, dude.
What you got?
I pre-game shot some Jack Daniel's bonded rye.
Yeah.
And then I poured another pour, and then now just need a skosh. Is that it?
You. I'm tired of correcting you. I'll never do it again.
Skosh. It's just a skosh.
I'm drinking some Little Book Chapter 7 from a
okay.
I have an entire library of Chris P samples.
Okay, he told me
not going to share with you.
He told me
how many times in our relationship have you gotten really good samples that weren't shared with me? Infinite. The number cannot be counted.
No, I've never not shared them with you. I just don't find them.
Sometimes you don't share them with me. Sometimes you drink directly out of the bottle, which is also gross. So there's been a lot of issues, but of the samples he sent, which are right behind me.
With it.
But I did say maybe, depends on how good it is, half the sample for you to try. But this Little Book Chapter 7. I haven't had a lot of Little Book. I had a couple, like the first 3, I think. And then I've kind of, they've flown under the radar for me. But I know that people love them and they're very good. So I'm going to drink this. Have a good time.
Yeah, it just seems like, I don't know, man.
It smells great.
Those Jim Beam products, you can't tell me that there's something better out there than those 15-year-old barrel picks that came out that are 120 proof back in the day.
Oh, the Knob Creeks?
Yeah, the Knob Creeks. You're not going to get me to go and stand in line or try to use a relationship to get something called Little Book.
I'll be honest with you.
If I do that, I'm going to get something that's not little.
They've continued to get better. I'll tell you that. I had like the first 3, which were good. This is very good. Cherry bomb. Delicious.
Cherry.
Not what I would
on
expecting.
A Jim Beam.
Exactly. This is really good. I don't know the proof or anything, but I know Chris P's watching, so he could probably give me the.
I don't think he is.
Yeah, I saw him earlier. He said, "Hello, folks." He said, "Hey, everyone." So he's there. He's listening. He's a good man.
Yeah. Okay, so off the top, though, really quick, we have to say that the podcast is not ending. The title, I realized, sounds like...
I didn't think so.
You didn't?
New.
Well, okay, that's very fair.
To me, that makes it seem like it's continuing on in a bigger and better form.
Yeah, it's like a flock of birds finding a pile of birdseed, and they're like, we're about to crap ourselves.
No, it's like when you get a Gillette like Mach 5 or whatever, or Fusion 5 after having a Mach 3 forever. It's like now new and improved.
Yeah.
Like it's better. It's bigger, better, extra blades.
I like it.
Yeah. That's the way I thought of it.
I like it a lot.
Now, a very heavy podcast from a few weeks back.
Yeah,
that one people were, and rightly so, probably like, oh, this is the end. This is the end.
And people that for some reason didn't click on it, they would text me like, "Hey, man, is the podcast over?" I'm like,
"You have to watch."
No, why? I'm like, "Well, I saw the episode." I'm like, in my head, I'm like, I don't think you saw the episode. I think you just saw the thumbnail.
Exactly.
Yeah, and it wasn't one of those things like bait and switch.
No,
it was just.
Well, I mean, maybe.
It was clever because it was like heavy mental and then heavy pun. Don't worry about it.
No, I get it. We think we're clever, but we are not.
We're punny, man. We're just all about the puns.
One thing that when we had said this we teased it up at the end of last year, that we're going to do some switcheroo on the old Patreon. And that was one of the main things we want to talk about tonight. And we were going to be in person. Our brand of humor and cutting up with each other doesn't work as well remote. We really got to be in the same room. So forgive us if our jokes or humor tonight are not as funny. But I blame the sickness in Grease's house, and I don't want a plague. So,
for all those listening, I did offer it up for him to come. I was just like,
I don't know if you want it. It's nasty, but you
can
come over if you want.
It's both ends, man.
Brutal. Just brutal. Yeah.
Shark Tank's on.
So I decided to stay at home, and we're going old school with a remote. And since we told people we're going to be live, we went forward with it as well. It's 118.1 proof on the Little Book, by the way. It doesn't drink like that. But so we're going to go over some of the changes and adjustments we're doing to Patreon here in the new year to make it better, more consistent, more enjoyable for everyone, and to really
ironclad
boost the community feel of it. That's one of the biggest things that, especially through Grease's journey, my journey with the podcast, especially, just learning how important community is and having folks around you that may have similar interests, maybe like-minded in the things that they enjoy as a hobby, but really can lift each other up and be there for one another when they really need it. And so that's kind of the point of kind of refreshing Patreon is it's to make sure we elevate the community factor, make sure we're better about pouring into people, but that it gives people more of a chance to meet new people, hang out with new people, and spend time together on a consistent basis, so that they can really get the most out of it. Because that's really what the best part of our Patreon has always been. Obviously, it helps keep the show going and keep us being able to do the things we do with the show. But the other aspect of it is that it's not just about getting a one-off here or an exclusive video, which we'll try to still do as much, but it's really leaning into the community aspect of it that I think is what people throughout the history of the podcast, and ever since we started the Patreon, that's what they took away the most from it. And so we're going to go over kind of what the changes are, just very, very subtle tweaks to some degree, but in ways that will make it more enjoyable and more consistent on our part as well. And to show that we're not going anywhere, and we're going to continue to develop the podcast. We're just shy of 8 years in, and I mean, you can't give up before you get to 10 at least, right? Like, I mean, that would be just an absolute failure. So, no,
well, I
don't see it.
You got to go all the way to 10 because that's like the common scale of attractiveness.
Of greatness. Yeah. Like, we're 10s.
Yeah.
And I think, I mean, you know,
or as Billy Bob would say,
to be the longest running, like, two dad podcast about drinking bourbon on the air, and still going, you got to keep it going. So I think that we're going to have a good time. We're going to go through some of these changes. I'm going to let Grease talk about what it is, but I've already made the changes on the Patreon page. So if you want to go look, like, all the descriptions have changed. One thing that made it very easy is that there's one tier that if you were a Welcome Package Plus is what it was called then. It was the $15 level. That's just going away. And I believe there's only 3 people in that specific tier.
Well, it's already deleted. It ain't going. It's already gone.
Well, no, I mean, it's, I unpublished it. So it, like, didn't delete them so that they all of a sudden can't access the information, but I'm going to send a direct message to them. But if you're listening and you know that you're in that category, either go to Town Hall or downgrade to the $10 level, and just so that you'll continue to get all these benefits that we go. And as soon as those people are out of that, I will delete it, so it's not just like a stagnant thing. But essentially the levels are kind of remaining the same, but the way that we present to them are going to be a little bit different. So, Grease, do you want to go ahead and kind of start walking through it so people can
honestly, so one of the, like Will said, like, one of the biggest things, and it's why Whiskey Weekend started happening, it's why Zoom calls and meets and stuff like that started happening, is because Will and I have always been about, and I know a lot of people say this, but, you know, we actually do it. It's about community. And Patreon is the world's worst way of communicating as a community. We can send you an email, but no one likes email. We used to be able to do like these lenses that were like 15-second videos, and so I could grab it. And I actually did a lot of those. But Patreon kind of got rid of that and everything. And so it was never a well-balanced communication tool at all. So we're actually we already have it. It's a Discord channel. A lot of people do them. We just haven't been there. We've been doing Facebook groups. They're terrible. You know, hop in my DMs, not the greatest. And Patreon, terrible. But Discord seems to be really great. A lot of people utilize that, and it will bring in a lot of communication. Everybody can chat there. There's going to be different channels and stuff like that. It's already available as well. So if you're already a Patreon member, you should check your email because it's in there.
And I know
the
that
stupid
that
stuff's in there.
Actually, integrated very well with Discord early on. We just never figured out that feature, mainly because we're a little dumb. And but we've got some good friends that are helping us figure that out.
We're dads,
get it set up and running. So that's going to be great, but it also, you can link it right to the level, the tier, so that it's something that you can access relatively easy from within Patreon as well. It's not, I don't believe it's going to be like, okay, next go do this, and then go over here, and then, triangulate your position on this, and then you find out here. It should be able to guide you through it relatively easy. And I'm going to make Grease make like a video or something explaining it, because
there's going to be a lot of videos. I've already posted 2, and it's
explaining how to get on the server.
Oh, you just got to click the link. Right. It's really easy to sign up too. You just go in there, and then you just
I can tell you, this is why we don't do remotes. He was not listening to a word I said.
You want me to make a video on how to join Patreon or Discord? And I'm just telling you, Z, it's not that bad. It's not that easy. Mama Marsha can do it.
He said it's not that bad. It's not that easy. You are out of your mind.
I mean, it's not that.
So one thing. Okay, so we have the buy us a drink level, which has been a staple in Ty Gallenbeck's favorite forever, is the send us $5 in the mail. That was the old joke we used to say. So that $5 level gets you access to the Discord. So automatically gets you in the community, and anything that comes along with being in that Discord community, you get that just from that minimum $5 level. The $10 level, which was formerly called the welcome package, I believe I changed the name to competitive bourbon drinker or something like that. I should probably have specifically known. Competitive drinker is the $10 a month package, and you get that Discord feature. But one thing that we are going to do to try to create some fun amongst our community is that quarterly we're going to do the best way to describe it is like Matt Madness style blind tasting challenge, and there'll be 10 competitors within each quarter, and once you've done it, though, you're not in like the next quarter, so that we can get
or the same year, but it all refreshes the next year,
right? But so you've got we'll draw randomly, and we'll get 10 per quarter. They will compete in a Matt Madness style competition that we will do over Zoom, and the winner out of those 10 will go on to the championship that'll be at the end of the year.
So there'll be 4 winners, 4 quarters, 4 head-to-head
competitors
at the end of the year.
And that we will record, and then we will air it to our people after the competition. So that's a feature that you get in. You get 1 entry per quarter at that $10 level, plus the Discord server. Then we have...
Now, I will say this,
ahead.
Will.
Yeah.
I'm going to say this. These pours are going to be dadgum fun. You're not going to get Heaven Hill.
I can't confirm or deny whether they'll be fun or not. We haven't done it yet.
Okay, well, that's not... Is that objective or not objective?
I don't know. They're objectively fun. I don't know anything that's objectively fun.
I'm just saying, if I'm in charge of the bottles, I'm just going to go ahead and say that right now. I'm in charge of the bottles because they're right behind me
beforehand.
And we are going to pour 10 2-ounce samples. Wait, no, sorry. 4 2-ounce samples for 10 people. Sorry, dude, the numbers are in my head. So you'll get like 4 samples.
I wasn't going to go into that much detail.
Don't even worry about it.
People understand the concept of a blind tasting challenge.
Subjective, whatever.
Yeah. So that's fun. So you get an opportunity at that $10 level, as well as access to the Discord. Then we have the town hall level, which remains very similar in structure, except for per quarter you get 2 entries into that, as well as our town hall meetings, which we are going to be. We think we've structured it where it will be a carryover. The way we'll do virtual bar night and town hall is it'll be like kind of like how we did the after party. We used to go live, but instead of going live, we'll just go live as an after party Zoom, and it'll be you're guaranteed 1 a month of the town hall, and this is going to help us be a lot more consistent with it. So if you love it and you enjoyed it before, we're already together. And so we know that we'll be able to just then go. We've already signed off with the spouses that this is the way that we can do this and make it better, and to ensure that we're getting this to people. It's always been one of the most fun things we do.
The biggest thing is it's consistent. It's going to be every Monday night around 9 p.m. Eastern time. So,
well,
when we do it,
we'll do it on Mondays, and it will be guaranteed. But now the next level is that virtual bar night, which is a limited number of people. You get 3 entries into the the blind tasting competition, the Discord server, but you also get the virtual bar night. So if you're virtual bar night, we're going to do that very similar, where it will be like Town Hall. It'll be after our show has aired. We're together. We'll start it. And it's that group. So if you're virtual bar night, you do get to go to Town Hall events as well, but you also get the guaranteed. So essentially, at virtual bar night, you get 2 meetups a month online, whereas Town Hall is just guaranteed 1 a month. So, and also by us having a schedule, you'll know how to plan better for it, and we'll be able to give out an advance notice a little bit better, because we know the day and the time will be consistent. And so that helps everyone, hopefully, to know that we're not all of a sudden, let's do it tomorrow, Tuesday night. We haven't done one in a while. That's been the biggest thing, is we have with lives and families and the things that we've dealt with over the last year and a half or so, that this is a way to make it not be something that we have to necessarily remember to intentionally do, because we've got a set time and place to be there. And a lot of people are already there watching the show when we run it live. So I can even foresee sometimes us going live early on the virtual bar night if we are not taping that night, and doing a watch party of the episode, and maybe like heckle it some, or there's a lot of different potential things we could do with it, but we know that it's going to be more consistent, and it's going to be a better platform for engaging one another and for building community. So
I agree, Will.
I doubt it. You never agree with me.
I agree. Hey, what was another one we were going to talk about?
I mean, that was. Oh, you mean topic or on that? I mean, that's the new Patreon. That's the new. The levels aren't that hard. So if you're already in one of those levels, 5, 10, 20, or 30, you don't have to do anything. Like, you don't have to then go change levels. We just update it what it says, and what you're getting. So the easy part's done for you, because when we revamped them a couple years ago, we created new tiers, and people had to go actively switch, or they had to go from this one to that one. We took that kind of cumbersome nature away, and just kept the framework the same, except for deleting one tier, and then just move forward. Like, you can stick with it. If you want to upgrade or something, now is a good opportunity to do it, because you know what's coming. You know the extra chances at the blind tasting, or the knowing that you can get a virtual bar night, because virtual bar night is a limited number, and it is something that you can get into now. You can get into that smaller, more elite group if you're really wanting to do that. If you ever had an itch for it, now's the time to do it. And you also know that it will be something that's consistent for you. So check that out and read them over as well at patreon.com/thepodcast. That's the best way to go sign up, and you can start getting in on that right now. But once again, if you're already a patron, unless you're in that $15, the welcome package plus, you don't have to do anything. So
yes. Right. And 2, I've got it cleared from my wife to do. So we're definitely doing 1 town hall and 1 VBN a month. There might be a couple for each tier. I'm just saying The expectations have been said and accepted. So unless there's something crazy out there, but it's not guaranteed because my life is not guaranteed. Like, I don't even know what's for dinner tomorrow. Have no idea, but I did release a cooking video on the Discord. It's very good. I made some hot dogs.
I still don't know how to get into it, but we'll figure it out.
Yeah, well, I'm really excited about the blind tasting thing. I think that's going to be super fun. Also, being able to send out samples is so much easier than big bottles or anything like that. It's also a lot easier to coordinate. Like, we're going to say the date of this thing happening.
Yeah.
And so if your name is drawn and you can't do it, we'll slide you into the next one. And then we'll redraw again for that competition so that it's not lost. Like, if you win,
we don't want to
push it.
It's not going to be something that's so, like, well, sorry. Like, the whole point is to have fun. So
right.
It's not going to be like, oh man, you can't miss it. Sorry. We'll make it work. We'll figure it out. So,
but it's also so important that you guys join Discord. So patrons, if you go there, there's the link for you guys to connect with us. There's going to be a lot of more communication in there. I'm only going to send like 2 more emails in Patreon
the best thing about sending emails in Patreon is that Grease keeps saying sending an email in Patreon, which what he means is sending a message within Patreon.
Well, it goes to your email.
Yeah, you get a notice that you have a message, but it's not directly an email. So you've caused so much confusion.
Well, it's stupid.
Over the
It's dumb.
Hey, we do have a question here from Bryce about Oaken Thieves. Sounds cool. Just got here. Sorry if it's already been discussed. Were you guys still involved with Oaken Thieves? It's been a while since I've heard anything about that group. So right now, excuse me, Oaken Thieves is much like we are figured out how to revamp our Patreon. And if you go back and listen to the Heavy podcast from a couple weeks back, you'll understand why a lot of these shifting and changes are necessary and why we are being more intentional about how we are coming about this based off some of the stuff that we've dealt with over the last year and a half or so. So if you check that podcast out, you'll understand why we're saying that we're making some changes in the way we present stuff. So Oaken Thieves is a part of our plan of discussion and revamping of whatever we do. And we have not been able to get to the end point with Bob and James about where we're moving forward with that. So right now, Oaken Thieves still, like, the Patreon exists, but each month I'm pausing the payments. So people are still in there. We can send messages out. We can communicate about stuff. But people aren't being charged for being a member of that. And so that's important because we're not like just shutting it down. And we haven't had these discussions with Bob and James. Everyone has had a lot of life going on. And the barrel pick aspect of bourbon has been more difficult of late to get really solid top tier barrels that people want. Yes, we could go tomorrow and find a barrel and try to flip it, but that's not the point of Oaken Thieves. The point of Oaken Thieves is to bring really unique, beautiful things to our community that we really believe in and want them to experience as well. So
yeah, the first year we did a Four Roses single barrel, a Russell's, a 1792. I'm sure I'm missing one. Starlight. So there was a lot of some of the bigger
like Hogback and the
we did those, but I'm saying like
Penelope. But finding there was a lot of variety of really great things, and it's being a little bit more difficult because of the current whiskey climate. But because of that, that's why Oaken Thieves still is there. But we're not pushing people to go join it at the moment because we don't have an answer for when the next barrel will come, when the next thing will be. And so we're also not shutting it down so that we lose communication, the ability to be there. But the good thing is that it's stagnant. It's kind of on pause. But I hope that answers your question, even though there wasn't a firm, definitive answer. So,
Yeah, there's another question about whatever happened to the Leapers Fort barrel. There's been a lot of communication between us and Leapers, and there's been a few apologies back and forth. We are still working with them on getting that done. So that's going to go first to our Whiskey Weekend Batch 5 patron or attendees. And then we are going to actually release the leftover bottles to Oaken Thieves. So that is going to be potentially hitting the Oaken Thieves side of things as well.
Yeah. Yep.
We've got the stickers.
Yeah.
Will had the stickers like a year ago.
Here.
Yeah. Show them to him. It's like a barrel with says world's largest barrel pick ever or something like that.
Whiskey Weekend unofficial world's largest barrel pick. March.
That's
11th,
cute.
2020.
Dude, I like that logo, dude.
I know.
That logo's sick.
All right, folks. That essentially does it. That's what we wanted to bring to you tonight. Hope you had some fun. I had a story I was going to tell, but we're going to go hop on that Zoom call. But yeah, go ahead and check us out. Patreon.com/the podcast. I'll save my kindergarten basketball game story for another week. And yeah, just look forward to more consistency, more community, and more whiskey with all of you in this new year ahead, in this new podcast phase ahead. So thanks, everyone. We don't know Jack,
but we'll drink it. See you on the Zoom, boys. We're coming.